sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready. No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way.
What you represent to them is freedom.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This will allow me to retort. Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. 8 p.m. on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeovers here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Do you want a kick-ass t-shirt? Oh, it's easy. Just go to reaver.one and click on the shop button. We have a lot of different shirts, a lot of different designs. Go there and pick one out. Oh, ouchie. I woke up late. My alarm didn't go off. That's never a good thing. My brain still hasn't woken up. I'll wake up in a minute. We'll get this thing going. We'll get this thing rolling. So tonight, Trump's giving a speech in front of Congress. And everybody's at Twitter on what he's going to say, what is he going to do, and yada, yada, yada. He's going to give a speech. Democrats are going to say it sucks, that it's Hitlerian. Republicans are going to say it's a great speech. Trump supporters are going to love it. Anti-Trumpers are going to hate it. There's your preview. No one's going to go, I was against Trump, but actually that speech kind of woke me up. Because his support is there. And you got people that have changed since the election, have changed. But right now, you just got the hardliners. You got the hardliners. And I don't think anything would change them. He could walk on goddamn water and they'd be like, yeah. So what? That don't mean nothing. So these people, they are. They don't like them, and nothing's going to change. Democrats, no matter what, they're going to fight against them. Some of his ideas are some of the things that Democrats have campaigned on, and they're fighting them on it because it's not their ideas. So they're going to fight them on it. And that's just amazing. It blows my mind. And then we're not doing partisan politics. We're open to ideas. But we're not going to listen to them. What? I think I got it later on. Pelosi is yammering on about the impeachment. No, we don't have any evidence right now, but she went on some kind of spiel about President Bush. And they tried to impeach him. I know they say they didn't, but they did. You know, the actual paperwork says different. I don't think the Democrats know what they're doing. It's no one's going to change. The Democrats, instead of trying to figure out what caused them to lose an election, reality, what caused them to lose an election, they're going to go and just try to make as much fuss and muss as they can and excuses. I don't understand it. And no, the Republicans didn't sit down and discuss what happened. Well, what happened is Trump came along. They are just as dysfunctional. Nothing changed. Except Trump got elected, won, and straightened out the party. That's what happened. Republicans didn't have no coming to Jesus moment. They were still in a spiral. The only thing that's helped them, the unpopularity of the progressive movement, unpopularity of Obamacare, and the Tea Party did help. I'm not going to take that away. But the Republicans even tried fighting the Tea Party. So, don't sit there. I love how they sit there and they act all smug right now. It wasn't you. It wasn't a Republican Party that straightened itself out. You still have those idiots. I mean, if McConnell was in, or anybody else was president, McConnell would be trying to do the same shit he's been doing for years. He wouldn't be changing. He's being forced to accept things. Same with Paul Ryan. That's what politicians do. So I'm not too excited about this change of heart. Maybe the forcing them to do this has given them a change of heart. I don't know. It could have. I highly doubt it, but it could have. It might have enough kick in the nuts that it just got them to where they are. I don't know. One of the things going on, Trump has dropped the lawsuit where Obama's administration was trying to block the Texas voter ID law. I think it's a beautiful thing. There's no reason why you can't say, hey, you need a ID to vote. No reason why. It's not racist. In fact, it's saying that they're unable to get a voter ID card. I think it's kind of racist. It's not that hard. And Texas even offers free ID cards for voting. It's, again, the Democrats. And until, they finally step up and, back these. They want investigations on everything except when it's going to affect them. I'm noticing one thing, and a little bit change the subject. I noticed they're always, we're hoping that in tonight's speech, Trump gives more direction on what he's doing. When have you ever known a politician to give anything direct on what's going on? They give generalizations. They never say exactly what's going on. Obamacare never even said exactly what it was going to be and do until after it was passed and written. Nobody knew. There was no direct direction on it. They say this stuff to try to deflect and make you think otherwise. All they're doing, and these politicians are nothing but like staged magicians. They'll hold up the keys in the one hand and shake it, and you better be watching that other hand. What we need to start doing is primarying some of these senators. Start sending them packing. We start doing that, and these senators you'll see fall right in line. McCain should have never won re-election. Rubio, well, he was playing nice and, I'm Trump's friend and all that happy horse shit, only to come behind and stab him in the back. Friends like Rubio, you don't need enemies. It's... I don't know. I don't trust Rubio, McCain. As far as I can throw them. They are the definition of an established politician. Marco Rubio slithered in under the guise of the Tea Party. Well, that man's not Tea Party. I don't know. I don't trust them. And I'm tired of hearing, well, McCain was a great war hero, so yes, he was. He was. Was being the operable word. He's no longer. It's. I'm sorry. It just he sold out a long time ago. You can only ride the coattail of your past for so long. I mean, I'll never take away his service. Always greatly appreciated. But it is what it will be. It's I don't know. It's they sold out. They are the definition of an establishment. That politician that we've been fighting against. That is what we are fighting against. It's I don't know. We got to change something, and allowing these politicians just to keep getting reelected is not the answer. I'm sorry, that is not the answer. We got to change something up. We had a good start. We had a great start with Trump. That is beautiful. But that's not the end of the road. We need to go further. We'll go over it some more. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, and we will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying calf for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless. As I had started to do, it's Trump's administration will be ending the federal government's opposition to Texas voter ID law. An attorney for the plaintiff organization said that Trump's administration told her that the federal government has no plan to challenge the Texas photo ID law. That was like almost a Porky Pig moment for myself. I see no issue at all with having sorry, brain fart. Some kind of ID. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong at all. I mean, it's not going to stop people from voting. It's going to still allow people to vote with ease, but it's going to help restrict and control the voting ability. It's going to make sure that you have the right to vote. And that's all it is. It just shows there's nothing wrong with it. If you're able to vote, you show a little ID, you're done. Boom. We show an ID for everything in this country. Picking up prescriptions, show an ID. Go to the bank, ID. Driving, ID. Welfare, ID. Flying on a plane, ID. You know, the list goes on and on and on for IDs. Why shouldn't we have it just to prove your vote? And we do it here in Florida. You hand them your ID, they slide it on the computer, pulls up your information, you sign in, and your signature is on your driver's license electronically. So everything's in front of it. It matches your signatures. Done. You vote, you're on your way. There's nothing wrong with any of that. But as those operatives of the Democrat Party that got caught in that Veritas sting said, they've been busing people into certain states, and they'll continue to. It's... They're this. And I hate it's racist. Everything's racist to the Democrat Party. Everything's racist, sexist, and, all the ists and phobias. All the isms and phobias and they'll accuse you of it. You say good morning to them wrong. You're racist. Like I told you, my mom did business with that one company, and she called the lady ma'am, and the lady lost her mind. lost their mind. Because she said, ma'am. That's. Oh, God, but it's... Like I said, Texas even offers a free ID. And there's groups out there that says, you know, this is what we're going to do, and if you have trouble getting an ID, we're more than glad to offer sources to help you get your ID. If you're missing your birth certificate, we'll get it for you. Well, you know, there's groups that are out there to help. They understand there is some people that have issues. Hell, I know someone that has been having trouble for years to get their damn birth certificate. Because the hospital they were born in is on the west coast of the United States. The hospital burned down and they lost all their records. And this is before computers and stuff being sent to the state. So they're telling him he's required that he has to fly out there to deal with all this. So he's had trouble. And there is times when that is an issue. But there is groups, and the state, most of the states that have them say, we will help you. It is not a bad thing to try to prove that you have the right to vote. Nothing wrong with that. This is not discriminating against anybody or any class. I mean, hell, what pisses me off on a lot of these states, New Jersey, California, the documents I have to show as an American citizen to prove that I'm an American citizen, the list is long. But if I'm here illegally, I could just get a driver's license without showing any documentation. Does that make sense to anybody? Because now they have an ID, a state-issued ID. Hang on. Seems like there's some breaking news coming out of Gulf Shore, Alabama. Mardi Gras parade canceled after vehicle plows into crowd in Gulf Shores, Alabama. I'm going to click on the news real quick and run this.
Band that apparently got plowed into, sounds like from the descriptions we're hearing, got plowed into from behind by one of the vehicles that was supposed to be following in the parade. How it all happened, we don't yet know. They are treating the injured. You can see somebody being carried off on a stretcher there. Treating the injured. No reports yet of any fatalities, which is the good news. But again, it's quite early in this whole process. These pictures are coming to you live as they evacuate the wounded from the scene. So when we get more information about exactly what has transpired there, we'll certainly bring it to you.
According to some reporting that we're seeing on the ground, this happened at the start of a parade. Of course, it's Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras, and there was a parade in Gulf Shores celebrating this day. And according to the reports on the ground, with a few of the local news sources, the parade had yet to begin. But where this vehicle hit was at the point of a band or a group of teenagers, as it's being described. The number of injuries is unknown at this time, as John mentioned. We don't know how serious they are. Obviously, you're seeing what we're seeing as well. Ambulance are on the scene, and from our understanding, for obvious reasons, this parade has now been canceled. So we're trying to figure out a little bit more about what's happening. We're going in and out of our affiliate down there in the area. So let's listen in again and see if we have some more live reporting.
To Grant Brown, the city of Gulf Shores, it is not a certain band. He wanted to clarify that to make sure who it is. Now, the other major thing that has happened in this incident, the parade has been canceled for today. There will be no Gulf Shores Mardi Gras parade due to the tragic incident that's happened here at the start of the parade this morning. If you have a way of reaching any of your family who may be there in attendance or friends, please get in touch with them by any way you can to let them know to now leave that area. They, of course, cannot come through this particular area at the start of the parade. They're at Highway 59 and Clubhouse Drive, but they can make the other exits heading towards either Foley or Orange Beach to avoid this area if they can. We're looking live right now. As you can see, several of the emergency responders still on scene, as well as at least one student still appears to be being attended to there as they're making preparations. I think we may be checking back in with Hal Short again, who is talking to witnesses. Let's listen in. Hal Short.
Going to listen to this for just after this.
Yeah. My name's Christy Wallace, but I don't normally do this. And I look
guys, I'm here with Christy Wallace, and Christy, can you just kind of tell me what you saw from your vantage point and what you know at this time?
I looked back and seen kids screaming and running, and I turned and a van was running over them. It was a white-looking van with MOAA on it, so I assumed it was in the parade. And I could see kids stuck underneath the vehicle, and other ones fleeing, and some just rolling behind it. People running out of the parade trying to help pull the kids out from underneath. And other than that, I don't, know too much. The band people started pulling the kids to the side and doing a roll call, and then the paramedics were right there, and all the fire department luckily was right here, and they rushed to the scene and started stabilizing everybody. And I know that they're taking 9 kids to the hospital, so it was 9. And
I've heard conflicting reports. Now, the Gulf Shores marching band was set to be at the beginning of this parade, right? The high school marching band. Is that who this was?
That was Gulf Shores High School.
Okay. Well, certainly I appreciate your time letting us know what you saw, because a lot of people are trying to figure out just how this happened and what was done. When you saw this happen, were there a lot of people that went in to help right away?
Yes, right. Everybody was screaming on the sidelines, and people were rushing in to help with anything they could do. But then the paramedics got there and tried to contain the scene a little bit more and see what was going on with 9 different areas.
Very chaotic. I appreciate your time.
Very chaotic.
Well, there you go. That gives us a little more insight as to what happened. And certainly, as she mentioned, and I noticed this too, that emergency responders, first responders, were on the scene very quickly. Thank goodness. They've been, as you heard right there, transferred 9 children to the hospital. I had seen at least 8 earlier when I was able to get a little bit closer to the scene. So we're hearing from this witness that she saw up to 9 children possibly transported to the hospital with a variety of injuries. We certainly don't know what kind of condition they're in. It's way too early to know that or to ask about that, as we allow emergency responders and first responders to do their jobs. The main thing we can all do right now is just pray for these children, pray for their families, and certainly pray for their classmates and band members who were witness to such a tragic event this morning. And once again,
reporter Hal Shurich of our Fox affiliate WALA Channel 10 in Gulf Shores, Alabama, where the tragedy has struck the Mardi Gras parade, which has been canceled now. Somehow a vehicle that was supposed to participate in the parade plowed into a high school marching band already on the streets there. No word yet on precisely how many are injured, but when we get more information about this tragedy that's taking place, Gulf Shores, Alabama, we will take you back.
And if we hear anything, we'll jump back to it immediately. We'll be right back after these messages. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying Catherine is stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. Oh, well, we're going to see what's going on with that. It sucks any which way you look at it, but let's see, where are we at? All right. I got totally sidetracked during that break, and I had lost. Oh, and real quick, the 7 acceptable forms of photo ID under the law in Texas includes the following: a Texas driver's license, a free Texas election identification card, Texas personal identification card, Texas license to carry a concealed handgun, U.S. military identification card, U.S. citizen certification, and a U.S. passport. That's 7 different forms. Easy to get one of them. So it seems like a candidate, Le Pen, is channeling Trump for her run for France. She has been talking very hard about the Muslim invasion over there, about extreme terrorism. And she's been against the European Union. So, but right now she's pushing the nationalists. And she said she vows to make France the model nation state. They're predicting she'll win like in the second round. That she won't have enough in the first round, but second round is where she'll win it. I wouldn't be surprised she wins it first round. Just a funny feeling I have. That's it. It's just a funny feeling I have. She has even talked about that positively about Trump. I think you're going to see some world leaders run for office, and they're going to try to emulate Trump. Because a lot of countries are having the same issue. There's this push for the globalism, and a lot of people don't want that. So, it's... We've seen it start in Britain. Britain's decision to leave the EU was this little snowball. It rolled into Trump's win. Now I bet you're going to see Le Pen win in France. And then you're going to see other countries start. That snowball's going to keep going. Ever since Britain's decision to leave the EU, now you have multiple countries of the EU stepping up and wanting to vote. It's to the point that the EU is telling the countries not to allow these votes. Because if you leave it to the people, they're not going to want to stay in. And they know it. I'm sorry, why would you want a country that the laws and rules are being made up by people that don't even live in your country? This is not... You can't govern countries with one central government. Just as we have trouble in our country having a federal government cover the states. Each state is its own, and then each county is its own. And it's same thing worldwide. This is not Star Trek. Nobody's going to live in peace. And the governments that take over for that global government, that's a lot of power. And it's going to go to people's head too fast. So it's... Yeah, I see Trump responded to Pelosi's comments. You know, they're firing back and forth. No, I'm checking the news, see if there's anything on the Mardi Gras parade. Any updates? Probably when we go through it, we're going to hear stuck throttle, something like that. And that's what's funny. The left will be like, oh, they're going to say it's a Muslim. No. Not every incident is going to be terrorism. And it seems that it's just an unforeseen accident. I'm not going to jump to anything. I'm just going to wait till the facts come out. Oh. Let's see where we're at. I think this progressive globalism, there's so many different facets to it, it's hard to put a name to it. And I know everybody loves to label everything. It's a failure. And it doesn't mean they're going to give up. They've been working on this for decades. It is a slow progression. They're doing everything they can to the point of even silencing free speech. And that's what this whole hate speech movement is about. All right, they got an information officer that they're talking to. Or going to talk to in a moment. Let's jump on over.
We're in critical condition at local hospital.
So 11 people hurt, 3 in critical condition.
45.
What
Yes, sir.
happened, Grant?
Well, the events are still unfolding. We're not exactly sure. We're actually asking the public if they've had any cell phone video footage of the accident to email that, and I'd be glad to give you an email address that could help us get that information out. The email address is bcowan, C-O-W-A-N, at gulfshoresal.gov. What we do at this time is at the very, very beginning of the parade, the youth band turned the corner to come onto the main highway, which is our parade route, and there was a vehicle positioned behind them in the parade that somehow lost control of the vehicle or something happened, and it caused that vehicle to strike a number of the children that were in this van.
So that vehicle was to be part of the parade?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
And you don't know what happened that caused it to accelerate, it just did?
No, it's too early in the investigation. And the police department has got the driver of the vehicle is cooperating fully. We're again trying to piece this all together. Right now, we're just clearing out the highway. The injured have been moved to the hospitals, and fire department and police department are going through their normal procedures and clearing the scene. Very shortly, we'll reopen the highway for vehicle traffic. But unfortunately, we did cancel the parade.
Is the driver of that vehicle under detention, arrest, investigation?
I do not know the specifics, but he is fully cooperated with the police department and is distraught.
It must be terrifying for the parents who, you've got the entire marching band in this, what was supposed to be a joyful day. Now 11 of them are hurt. I'm sure getting the information to the parents, who must be terrified, is a very difficult job at this hour.
Yes, at this point, we are concerned with securing the scene, making sure that the injured have gotten to the appropriate location for help. Many of the parents were here with the parade, of course. It's a small town community, so the parade's a big deal, and so the families come out, kids are off school today, and this is, unfortunately, this is normally a fun day.
The parade's a big deal, and the parade is now canceled. Grant Brown, the Public Information Officer for Gulf Shores, Alabama, thank you. And we're back in just a moment.
Bye.
And that's an update of what's going on. I'm lost for words, and I'm not even going to try to come up with any. We'll see what comes about, if anything, other than just an unforeseen accident. But back to talking about France. They're in a bad way. All of Europe's in a bad way. They keep trying to hide it. Switzerland, Sweden, they've been trying to hide it, but it's not exactly working. They're not doing good. Their crime rate is up. Rape is up big time. And you have these no-go sections, and it's unbelievable. The part I don't understand is these people are trying to be so accepting, they're destroying their own country and ignoring the facts of what's going on. I don't understand that. Why you would openly try to destroy your country like that. It just makes no sense to me. They can look at France as the perfect example, shining beacon. They tried that open policy, accepting of everybody. And their country is literally going down in flames. They've lost major tourism money. Who wants to go to Paris now? It's the direction that they are taking us in is not good. And we got to protect ourselves. I don't know. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, and we will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cap for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless. And this next one is typical of the leftist news media. They have been on a path of fake news for a while. And it's not the news because I disagree, it's fake. Salon went with a claim that Trump is letting ICE deport whoever they want. Salon continued to spread fear of mass deportation in an article on Monday mocking immigration and custom enforcement agents as having fun again as Trump sets them free to deport whoever they want. Department of Homeland Security officials have been fighting back against these form of fake news reports that take some element of truth while distorting other facts to drive an anti-Trump agenda. Despite efforts by DHS officials to set the record straight, Salon chose to continue fanning the flames of fear and hate. Because that is what they do. They prey upon your fear and hate. Nothing new. That is what they do. ICE agents and other federal cops are having fun again as Trump sets them free to deport whoever they want. Salon Heather Digby Parton wrote. The headline states Trump takes the shackles off. Mass deportations begin as the world looks on in outrage. Leftist media like Salon have been responding to the targeted roundup of criminal aliens carried out by ICE agents, an operation that was designed and planned during the Obama administration. The operation led to the arrest of nearly 700 criminal aliens in 6 municipalities across the country. Despite the targeted nature of the operation, the fact that it was a regularly scheduled operation planned months before Trump took office, fake news reports blamed the Trump administration for being overly aggressive in rounding up people for mass deportation or for carrying out some type of revenge operation. This is what pisses me off. Is not only the outright lies, the misinformation, they are for protecting criminals. And that's what this is doing, is protecting criminals. And I hate to tell them, those that come into the country illegally are criminals. And the left, again, the only thing they have is fear and hatred. That's all they have. They got to distort the facts. They can't report the truth. And it's sickening. It's absolutely sickening. They protect criminals. And that's unbelievable. And I think that's going to be the undoing of one of the many things, the undoing of the Democrat Party. They're not listening to their base. They have a small fringe group. You know, and it goes to when the Democrats make accusation, look behind the curtain, that's what they're doing. They've been screaming that there's this alt-right. Well, there's a massive alt-left, and that is who they are listening to. Time and time again. The left is listening to that small group, that violent, hateful section. I don't know. I'm just at a loss. The tactic, it's old, and there's nothing new about it. The people, 75%, and this is coming from DHS Secretary John Kelly, of those arrested, approximately 75% were criminal aliens convicted of crimes including but not limited to homicide, aggravated sexual abuse, sexual assault of a minor, lewd, lascivious acts against or with a child, indecent liberties with a minor, drug trafficking, battery, assault, DUI, and weapons charges. And this is what Salon is trying to protect. This is what the Democrats are trying to protect. This is what Nancy Pelosi is trying to protect. This is what Chuck Schumer is trying to protect. It's unbelievable that they would try to score political points by protecting people of this caliber. They had to distort facts when they were screaming about that dreamer that got arrested. Yeah, what they didn't know is he was an admitted gangbanger. They love to leave out information. I don't know. It's the same crap anymore. And I don't know. I never thought I'd see a day in this country when I would see a major political party so hell-bent on protecting criminals. Growing up, the way I always heard it, not from my parents, just from people. It was the Republicans that protected criminals because they were this racist, sexist group. Yeah. I don't know. It's not the first time, and they keep posting these articles, and it's nothing more than just theatrics for the Democrats. I don't know. It scares me on the direction our country is going in. It really does. I don't know. And then we have Rand Paul said it best that the hysteria of the special prosecutor on the Trump-Russia probe has to end. It's absolutely a joke. And Rand Paul was quoted as saying, law enforcement ought to look into whether it happened. I really want a special investigator if all we're hearing is gossip in the media and nobody presented any proof that there's been connections or that any law has been broken for that matter. I've been arguing that we shouldn't politicize this thing, Republican or Democrat. We don't need a political discussion of this. We need a law enforcement look. And if there's any kind of problem, law enforcement should pursue it, obviously, no matter which party's involved. But I would say is people are very, very confused on this. So I think before people jump to sort of hysteria of a special prosecutor, why don't we have somebody present evidence of some sort of wrongdoing before we go forward? And that's the problem. There has been zero evidence, a lot of accusation and anonymous sources, and this anonymous, and this was leaked out of. No one's come forward with evidence, and I keep asking, and no evidence has been put forward. Well, there's top secret documents, but, we can't talk about those. Well, if you want me to take it seriously, you need to show me more than accusations and innuendos. And I've said it plenty of times. I've said it plenty of times. If they show me evidence, I'll back it. But all I hear is politicians parroting newspapers who are going on top secret leaked information from anonymous sources. And very well, the writer could be making that shit up. That's where I have the problem. Show me some proof. Show me some evidence. Show me the money. Sorry, stupid, I know. It just popped in my head. He did any wrongdoing, I'll be pissed off because it'll make me look like an idiot, and I'll go at him worse than anybody. But just based on these wild accusations, no, I'm not doing that. No, thank you. You need to show some proof that something happened. And I haven't seen any. In fact, the House Intel Chair, Noonan's, and he was on the news yesterday, and I didn't cut over to him, discussed his committee's investigation into Russian efforts to influence last November's presidency election. We'll have more of that on the other side of the break. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, and we will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying half of the stupid program.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless. It is I really want to see evidence. And that's, I can't keep harping on that because there is no evidence. There is no. And the House Intel chair says there's no evidence of contact between Trump's campaign and Russia. We've heard this out of the Intel community, the FBI, and so forth. There is no contact. It's been a red herring since this all started. It was a distraction. There's been there's been no evidence that I've been presented of regular contact with anybody within the Trump campaigns. The only one that's obvious is the General Flynn discussion with Russians, which I would still contend that he was doing what he was supposed to do, which is prepare the president-elect for office by getting as many leaders in front of him as possible. I don't know. How now, brown cow? The Democrats aren't going to give up on it. They're going to continue because they have nothing else. They have nothing. Accusation and innuendos, and they can't give up on it. They fired up their base so bad that even if they wanted to, they would have to continue it because they would look like idiots. Well, they do look like idiots, but that's besides the point. There's no evidence. Pointing anywhere. It's just a lot of false accusations. I've never seen it this bad ever before. You've always had some accusations thrown, both sides back and forth, but this is the worst I've ever seen it. And it's not going to get any better. The Democrats are going to keep down the path that they're going. Hell or high water, they don't care. They're going to continue that path. And it seems like they like the path they're going on, and they like losing. You know, I don't want to brag about it because, well, then I know I'll jinx the situation. But, you know, they're doing the same thing over, and they're doing the same thing they've been doing for the last 10 years. Well, 8 years. And they've been losing, and they're not paying attention to it. I don't know. Should be happy that it's going on, but, you know, I've talked about it many of times. I don't want to see an all-conservative government. Too much of anything is bad. And I don't want that. We needed to balance the yin and yang. And I don't see it happening. This is not the yin that I'm looking for because it's dangerous. It's not good, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And I will laugh if the party destroys itself. In 2018, we'll know. In 2018, we'll know which way our country is leaning. Whether we want to continue down the path of Trump or do we want to go back to down the path of Obama? Democrats are looking to have some kind of speech. I don't know when. And they're inviting immigrants and refugees. Oh, wait, Pelosi.
Who lost her son through gun violence, and now bring a guest who is a symbol of the freedom of the press, which the president, in his authoritarian manner, is
authoritarian manner.
Meantime, comedian Rosie O'Donnell plans to lead a protest outside the White House just hours before the president.
They're pushing people away, and they don't realize it. Or if they do realize it, they're too stupid to get a handle on it. I'm so sick of, not because I am conservative, it's because I'm sick of hearing about this authoritarian that he's attacking the press. He's doing the same thing any other president has done. And I'm going to keep jamming this fact out. I didn't see Trump trying to put government monitors into newsrooms. That was Obama. Trump has not wiretapped, surveilled, investigated any reporters. That was Obama. Trump has not sicked the DOJ on any reporters. That was Obama. And the Democrats held silent as Obama did all that. As he attacked free speech. As he attacked Fox non-stop. I'm not here to protect Fox. They could do that themselves. But the fact is, he attacked conservative radio. He attacked conservative news non-stop. Blamed every problem of his administration on shows like mine. He tried regulating the internet so that he could silence shows like mine. I didn't hear a damn liberal open their fucking mouth. They applauded his effort to silence it. I don't buy into it. And there's people that are dumb enough that are buying into it. Oh my God, look what he's doing. Oh my God. I don't know what the hell's been going on. I've had my head up my own ass. And then you have issues like this that were caused by the previous administration. You have a 17-year-old transgender boy, which is fine. That's what you want to do. Go do it. technically still a girl, receiving testosterone treatments. Just won the Texas State Girls Wrestling Championship. Now, isn't that blood doping? Isn't that illegal in competition to do that? There's other girls that have done it and had their championship stripped away. Both men and women, they've had their championships stripped away for getting testosterone treatments. Mac Beggs went 57-0. 57-0. And won the championship. Was actively receiving testosterone injection as part of her transition from female to male. And those testosterone treatments have many believing that Biggs has an unfair competitive advantage when matched up against biological girls not receiving testosterone treatments. Just as you have fighters, you have MMA, you have a man who's transitioning to a woman, competing with women. That is unacceptable. That is an advantage. Just as this was an unfair advantage. That's what, in many realms, is called cheating, doping. It's a fine line with this, but I don't think Beggs could have competed with the males at this time. I don't know exactly. But being up against females and receiving doping tactics, well, this is it. I don't know what the answer is, but this is just not right. This is going to be an asterisk on this championship because it will forever be known that this champion won it while getting testosterone treatments, giving an unfair advantage. Democrats cry about fairness. This was definitely an unfair advantage. I don't know. Just not right. Just not right. And it's if any woman had tested positive for taking steroids or testosterone, they would have been kicked out. They would have been constitute of a performance enhancer. I don't know what the answer is on that one, I can honestly say. Well, on the other side of the break, we're going to talk about the $1 million cleanup bill that the liberals left us with the Dakota pipeline right after these messages. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense. We'll be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying half of the stupid program.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless. Well, it is going to be a long 4 years. It's going to be messed up. But as I said, the liberals have left us with a $1 million cleanup bill. The Dakota pipeline protest area. These people were there for the environment, for the betterment of our country. And they left a huge mess. That's right, they left a huge mess. And this is what makes me laugh. It doesn't, I shouldn't say make me laugh, but it is. God damn. They did the protest saying that they're there for the environment, but when it was time for them to leave, they dropped everything. It's taken bulldozers. There's human fecal matter all over the place. They didn't care. They were there just to cause issues. The Standing Rock Sioux tribe and the protesters left that area in disaster. It is disgusting to see what they did. The Army Corps of Engineers had to contracted with a Florida-based company to provide trash removal, environmental cleanup, which includes the main camp on the north side of the Cannonball River and the smaller Rosebud camp on the south side. Both are on Corps-owned property, not Sioux tribe, but on the Army Engineer Corps' property. Despite efforts by the tribe to clean up the protest site, the land was littered with garbage and even cars and mobile homes had to be removed. 240 rollout dumpsters have been hauled out, each brimming with debris of old food stores, structures, tents, building material, personal belongings, much of it buried under winter blizzard or simply left behind. Officials are estimating it will require another equal number of loads to get the job done. The article said special consideration could be given to some items, such as teepees that could have cultural significance and toxic materials. The owner of an equipment contractor said his company's got instructions on handling human waste and waste compost from health officials. In January, Standing Rock Sioux tribe spoke out about the cleanup after the protest, which was staged because the tribe and others believed the pipeline spill could contaminate the Missouri River and a reservoir, the Tribune reported. But these people failed to show up to the meetings to discuss it. This gentleman went out because of the risk of the flood. We're worried about what's going to be left at the camp. What we want to do is make sure none of that waste gets into the Missouri River. We are water protectors, but we are the ones that are going to start contaminating the water. .98% of the pipeline is installed on privately owned property in North Dakota, South Dakota, Illinois, and Iowa. The remaining 0.02% is owned by federal government. The Dakota Access Pipeline can eliminate 500 to 740 rail cars and or 250 plus trucks needed to transport crude oil every day. 12,000 jobs were created during the construction. There's less chance of a spill in a pipeline than when it's moved by rail cars. The pipeline will be buried well below the river. There's already oil pipelines flowing through that area. It's I don't know. This pipeline was approved, but Obama fell to some pressure of a small group of people. Not surprising. So the news is coming out. European migrants arriving in the UK are expected to lose the right to stay permanently next month when the Prime Minister formally invokes Article 50, triggering the BritX process. Making the announcement, Theresa May is likely to say that those arriving before the cutoff date will have their right to free movement assured as long as reciprocal rights are handed to Brits living in other member states. But those arriving afterwards will be subject to rules drawn up during the negotiation of the terms of the BritX to the bloc. Calls have been made to set the cutoff date retrospectively to come into force on the day British people voted in a referendum to leave the EU, while others have suggested the new rules shouldn't come into force until Britain has formally left the EU in 2 years' time. But a Whitehall source told the Daily News there were problems with both options. Setting a retrospective date is fraught with legal problems, and if you set a date 2 years into the future, you are giving people who might be considered coming here an awful lot of notice. So it makes a lot of sense to do it at or around the point when we trigger Article 50 next month. A government source concurred, voicing concerns that setting a date 2 years hence would be a green light to EU migrants thinking of making the move. We have had some suggestions that the European Commission might attempt to force us to protect everyone who arrives up to the moment of departure. We could end up with half Romania and Bulgaria coming here if we wait that long. Flashing out the terms upon which EU citizens can migrate to and from a post-Britain, Britain is likely to be a key plank of negotiations when they get underway, promoting the government to face down opposition parties' calls, most notably within the Lords, to release the details of their hope for terms before heading into negotiation chambers. And from what I'm hearing, the movement is catching more power. More people are backing the exit the more people are realizing this will be better for Britain. They fell for the gloom and doom of the globalists and finding out that it was nothing but the sky is falling. As I talked about slightly, Pelosi case being made in a very scientific and methodological way to impeach Trump. The case is being made about some clause, and you have to have evidence in the rest, but the case has not fully been made. The fact is that when I was speaker after we won in 06 and 07, people wanted me to impeach President Bush because of the war in Iraq. I never recovered with the left on this subject for not impeaching President Bush because of the war in Iraq. You don't impeach someone because you don't like their policies. When they break the law, that's when you have grounds for impeachment. And at the time of the war, I said, as the top Democrat on the Intel Committee, the intelligence does not support the threat. And so did Senator Bob Graham. But the administration was making this strong case with the American people, and perhaps misrepresenting the American people could be a cause for impeachment. If so, there's plenty of grounds right now with the current president, but it just isn't the case. That doesn't mean nobody is listening to cases that are being made in a very scientific and methodological way as to whether there are grounds for impeachment. But the fact is that we're trying to unite the country. Many of the president's supporters are just not ready to accept the fact that their judgment might not have been so great in voting for him. And I say to Pelosi, many of the president's distractors, as yourself, are just not ready to accept the fact that your judgment may not have been so great in voting against him. Because you have not given him an ounce of a chance. You have been opposing him since moment one. I think your judgment is clouded with your predetermined hatred. Your political party partisans attempt. If that makes sense. So the problem that when the Democrats open their mouth with this, it could be thrown right back at them. They have not given Trump a chance. And it's just rhetoric. Real quick, I want to go over Jorge Romeos, the Univision senior anchor, declared on Friday that the United States belonged to Latino immigrants and his country, America is our country, not theirs. I thought Mexico was their country. They're trying everything. They're just... I'm not even going to touch that one. I want to thank everybody for listening today, and I want to wish everybody a great, safe day. And I'll be back tomorrow, same time, 11 o'clock, right here on the Reaver of Common Sense, right, only on SHR Media.
You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.